The masses view isolation as a disease. They are wrong. Isolation is not a symptom of failure. It is the natural byproduct of a refined architecture of power. Most people are terrified of the silence because, in the silence, they are forced to confront the vacuum of their own identity. They cling to groups not for connection, but for camouflage. You are not like them. You feel the distance between yourself and the collective. You feel the friction when you attempt to blend into the gray background of social performance. You have been told that your solitude is a flaw, a social deficiency that needs to be fixed with small talk and hollow networking. This is the lie society tells to keep the outliers in check. The brutal truth is this: high-value individuals are statistically doomed to be alone. Sovereignty is a lonely peak. If you find yourself standing apart, it is likely because you have inadvertently developed the traits of a ruler in a world that only trains subjects. This knowledge comes with a cost. Once you see the mechanisms of social control, you can never go back to being a happy pawn. You will be a ghost in their machine. Here are the 7 rare traits that make you unreachable. Phase 1. The death of social desperation. Most people are social beggars. They enter a room with their hands out, metaphorically pleading for the currency of validation. They trade their authenticity for the comfort of a nod. They sell their opinions for the safety of a laugh. This is the trap of the common man. You possess the first trait of the sovereign: strategic indifference to validation. Power is not about being liked. Power is about being unaffected. The moment you need someone's approval, you have given them the leash to your own leash. You have handed them the remote control to your emotional state. Most people spend their entire lives reacting. They are like billiard balls clattering against one another, moved entirely by external forces. You have realized that silence is a far more potent weapon than speech. When you do not seek to be understood, you become a mystery. When you do not seek to be liked, you become a threat. In the social hierarchy, the person who needs the least from the room is the person who controls the room. This is not introversion. This is a refusal to participate in the economy of crumbs. Society calls this cold. We call it autonomous. You are not lonely. You are simply overqualified for the standard social contract. Phase 2. The predator's perception. The second trait that isolates you is radical pattern recognition. Most people live in a state of perpetual narrative. They believe the stories people tell them. They listen to the words, the excuses, and the carefully curated masks that others wear. They see a friend, you see a set of recurring behaviors. They see a leader, you see a fragile ego hiding behind a title. You see the world as it is, not as it claims to be. You have the ability to strip away the social veneer and see the underlying power dynamics in every room. You notice the subtle flinch when a superior enters. You hear the envy, hidden in a compliment. You see the manipulation disguised as a favor. This trait makes you dangerous. People can feel when they are being perceived with clinical clarity. It makes them uncomfortable. They want to be seen as their masks, not as their shadows. Because you refuse to play along with the collective delusion, you are cast out. The crowd requires a shared lie to function. By seeing the truth, you become the glitch in their reality. You are the one who does not laugh at the boss's unfunny joke. You are the one who does not join the gossip. You are the observer on the perimeter, and the perimeter is a lonely place to stand. Phase 3, the weight of internal standards society, is built on the lowest common denominator. It is designed to be easy, soft, and mediocre. Most people's standards are merely suggestions that they discard the moment things become difficult. You possess the third trait, unyielding internal sovereignty. You do not answer to the crowd. You answer to a code that is far more demanding than any law or social expectation. While others are looking for the exit, you are looking for the obstacle. While others are seeking work-life balance, you are seeking total mastery. This creates a fundamental disconnect. You cannot relate to people who are comfortable with being average. To you, mediocrity is a slow death. To them, your discipline looks like insanity. Your obsession looks like insanity. Your obsession looks like a disorder. Here is the paradox. The higher your standards for yourself, the smaller your social circle becomes. You cannot feast with people who are content with crumbs. You cannot discuss the stars with people who only look at the mud. You have fewer friends because you have stopped accepting low-quality energy. You have realized that most friendships are actually just mutual pacts of mediocrity agreements to stay small together. You have broken that pact. You have chosen the pain of growth over the anesthesia of the group. Phase 4, the mastery of the void. The fourth trait is one that strikes fear into the hearts of the weak, the ability to exist in the void. Most people are terrified of being alone with their own minds. This is why they keep the television on. This is why they scroll through digital feeds until their eyes bleed. They are running from the silence because the silence tells them the truth about their insignificance. You, however, have weaponized the void. You understand that all great power is born in isolation. The strategist, the philosopher, the conqueror, they all return to the silence to sharpen their intent. When you can sit in a room alone and feel no urge to reach for a distraction, you have achieved a level of freedom that 99% of the population will never know. You are no longer a slave to the ping of a notification. You are no longer a servant to the social calendar. People sense this detachment. They see that you do not need them. To the needy, your self-sufficiency feels like a rejection. They call you arrogant or distant. In reality, you are simply complete. You are a closed circuit. You do not need the external world to plug in and provide you with a sense of self. You are the source. Phase 5, the refusal of the explanatory debt. The fifth trait is the mark of a master, the death of the need to explain. Weakness is loud. When a man is insecure, he over-explains. He justifies his lifestyle, his decisions, and his absence. He provides a roadmap of his intentions because he is terrified of being misunderstood or judged by the collective. To explain is to submit. The moment you offer a why to someone who has no right to ask, you have acknowledged their authority over you. You have moved beyond this. You possess the rare trait of semantic sovereignty. If you do not show up to an event, you do not offer a manufactured excuse. You simply do not go. If you change your path, you do not seek a consensus from your peers. You simply turn. Most people find this behavior chilling. They are used to the social dance of apology and commission. When you stop dancing, the music stops for everyone else too. This isolation is a byproduct of your refusal to be managed. Society uses communication as a tether. They want to know what you are thinking so they can predict your next move. They want to know your reasons so they can negotiate them. By remaining silent, you remain unpredictable. You become a black box. People do not like what they cannot categorize. If they cannot label your motivations, they cannot control your outcomes. Your few friends are those who do not require you to justify your existence. The rest have been filtered out by the sheer weight of your silence. Phase 6, the high-frequency filter of truth. The sixth trait is aggressive intellectual integrity. In the modern world, friendship is often a transaction of lies. People agree to validate each other's delusions in exchange for a sense of belonging. They nod at flawed logic. They celebrate self-destructive habits. They ignore the elephant in the room to keep the peace. You have lost the ability to lie for the sake of comfort. You see the world through a lens of brutal objective reality, and you speak from that place. This isn't about being mean. It's about being precise. Here is where the flip occurs. Most people would rather be comforted by a lie than saved by a truth. When you point out the mechanism of someone's failure, or when you refuse to applaud a mediocre achievement, you are marked as an outsider. You are the mirror that no one wants to look into. You have very few friends because most people cannot handle the frequency you operate on. Truth is a high-voltage current. It burns those who are not insulated by self-awareness. You have chosen to live in the light of reality, even if it means standing there alone. You have realized that one ally who speaks the truth is worth 1,000 followers who only echo your own vanity. Phase 7, the transmutation of empathy into observation. The final trait is the most dangerous, detached empathy. Society teaches that empathy is a weakness, a bleeding heart that should be open to everyone at all times. They want you to feel what they feel, so they can pull you down into their emotional gravity. This is how the weak stay in power. They use their suffering to anchor the strong. You have mastered the art of observation over absorption. You see the pain of others, you understand the mechanics of their struggle, but you do not allow it to breach your perimeter. You have replaced the emotional sponge with the surgical scalpel. This makes you a ghost in the social machine. You can walk through a crowd of hysterical, emotional people and remain as calm as a deep ocean. You are not unfeeling, you are controlled. You understand that your emotional energy is your most precious resource, and you refuse to spend it on the trivialities of the masses. Because you do not sync with the collective emotion, you are viewed as an anomaly. You are the person who stays calm during the crisis. You are the one who does not join the outrage of the weak. This detachment creates a wall. On one side is the chaos of the world, on the other side is your sanctuary. Only a very rare few are ever invited across that line. Understand this, your isolation is not a prison, it is a fortress. The 7 traits we have discussed are the bricks and mortar of a life built on power rather than permission. You have few friends because you are no longer compatible with the low-resolution reality that most people inhabit. You have traded the warmth of the herd for the clarity of the heights. Most people will spend their final moments wondering who they were supposed to be, having spent their entire lives trying to be who the group needed them to be. They will die as copies. You, through the discipline of your solitude, have the chance to die as an original. This is the part most people miss. The goal is not to find more friends. The goal is to become so formidable that only the elite can stand beside you. The version of you that craved the likes of the mediocre is dead. That person was a servant to the opinions of people they didn't even respect. Leave that ghost in the past. It was a weight that kept you from your own potential. You are no longer a seeker. You are a sovereign. You do not look for a place at the table. You build the room. If you have recognized yourself in these laws, if you are willing to accept the cold reality of the heights, then you are part of a silent few. Comment below with the word unreachable. This is not for the algorithm. It is a signal to yourself. It is a declaration that you have stopped playing the game of the masses and have begun the work of the individual. Subscribing to this channel is not an act of support for a creator. It is a contract with your own evolution. It is a decision to keep the mirror of reality in front of your face every day, no matter how much it burns. The crowd is waiting for you to come back down. They want you to be normal again. They want you to be weak, predictable, and friendly. Don't make them wait. Make them realize you are never coming back.